All day, fam. It's good. It was a good Monday Night Football game. This is my Monday Night Football recap. I predicted the Jaguars to lose against the Chiefs, 21-23, and the Jaguars actually beat the Chiefs 31-28. You know, I wasn't really surprised that this game went down this way. Deep down inside, deep down in my soul, if I'm being completely honest, I was almost going to pick the Jaguars to beat the Chiefs, but I said to myself, I was like, nah. I'm going to go ahead and go with Mahomes this go round. I'm going to go ahead and go with Mahomes and the Chiefs this go round. I really couldn't rationalize why the Chiefs was going to beat the Jaguars tonight outside of just the fact that the Chiefs has Mahomes and Andy Reid, and they played well the past 2 weeks. And I'm thinking, because of what the Chiefs has already shown me, I'm thinking the Chiefs are back. The Chiefs are going to do what the Chiefs always do. It doesn't really matter what team matches up well against them. What always puts the Chiefs over any team that even matches up well against them is the fact that the Chiefs always finds ways to win. That wasn't the case tonight. The fact that they won those 2 games the past 2 weeks and they lost tonight against the Jags, that tells me something. Because I knew that the Jags matched up very well against the Chiefs because the Jaguars have a very, very explosive, they have a fast defense. They have a tense physical defense. And that defense is not going to let up too much. They let up a lot tonight, but they came through on some big plays, like with that pick 6 at the goal line. They have a very athletic defense. It's almost like the Texans defense. It's not as physical and fast as the Texans defense, but the Jaguars defense it kind of reminds me of like the Texans defense in a way, sort of. But because of how athletic they are. But I think this was more of a bad loss for the Chiefs than a win, a good win for the Jags. Now, I'm not trying to take anything away from the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars are for real. They are a for real team because they are a for real team because they are starting to get better. I see the Jaguars, a team starting to get better, and they're a team to actually take serious. One, because they have a very good defense, and two, Trevor Lawrence is starting to look like he's starting to come alive, and he's starting to really show up, like arrive. And 3, because I'm starting to see that they're starting to get Travis Hunter into the mix now. They're starting to find ways to how to use Travis Hunter. He made some pretty big plays tonight, very big plays. And it's only a matter of time when Brian Thomas Jr. is going to start really snapping, doing this thing like he did last year, 1,200 yards as a rookie. The Jaguars are for real, man. They can make some noise in the playoffs. They really can. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not really surprised of what I saw tonight. I'm more surprised about how Trevor Lawrence played. Trevor Lawrence did miss some throws. He did miss some throws, but he did come up big when it mattered the most. So, yeah. Shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars, man. Duval. So yeah, y'all doing your thing, man. So like that just has a little quick notes, man. I will go over a little recap. So let's see here. Yeah, the Mahomes and the Chiefs, they did set the tone very early. By halftime, Kansas City led it to 14-7. They were efficient in execution, moving the ball, converting, staying composed. That early control mattered, and it forced the opponent to chase from behind, which it did. The Chiefs was up like 14-0 at one time, but Jacksonville, they fought back. Mistakes, momentum. You know, Jacksonville, they came back. They said they didn't let it slide too quickly. They capitalized on the Chiefs' mistakes. They took advantage of what the Chiefs was giving them, and you know, a pivotal moment came late in the third quarter when Devin Lloyd, he intercepted Mahomes and returned it to 99 yards for a touchdown. And that swing flipped the lead in its energy. Football is all about momentum, man. Like, football is a momentum game. Whatever team has the most momentum, I'm telling you, when you watch these games and you can see so quick, like the energy and the momentum. Like a team can be playing very well, and then an interception or something can take their soul, their spirit out of that team, and then all of a sudden this team just starts marching down and they score. It happens all the time. Football is literally a game of momentum. It literally is. It's crazy, and that's probably why sometimes people thinks it's fixed, because how easy the game can switch. I'm telling you, man, it's just a physical, emotional game, man. The team that has the most momentum, man, that's pretty much a team that's going to pretty much start making the most plays and start executing the game plan more, and it's more pretty much going to be the team that's going to win. So that's not luck. That's capitalization opportunities. When one team is aggressive and the other is reactive, So it was a little bit of back and forth. The fourth quarter was a chess match. Chiefs responded. Jaguars responded. Each side forced the other to make plays under pressure. And then Jaguars rookie Travis Hunter made a stunning 44-yard catch to ignite one of their comeback drives. And those moments show how bravery and precision overrides chaos. In the final drive, the Jaguars, they seized the victory with time shrinking, and the score tied. Jacksonville showed poise. Lawrence didn't panic. They didn't rush. And then, they ate the clock. They hit key throws, and they finished it. Every drive was in crunch time, as much as mental and as physical, in and out. So pretty much the key moments of tonight was a 99-yard pick six. That was the play of the night, pretty much, by what's his name again? I think it was Devin Lloyd. I think his name was Devin Lloyd. Yeah, let me see what I'm looking at. I think his name was Devin Lloyd. I'm tripping. Yeah, I think his name was Devin Lloyd. Yeah, Devin Lloyd. Yeah, by Devin Lloyd. Shout out to him, man. I mean, he had to fight for his starting job, and I think he was going to he wasn't going to get cut, but they didn't decide to pick up his fifth-year option, and so he pretty much wasn't even going to start. But he has been dominating, making huge plays for the Jaguars. I'm pretty sure they're going to keep him now. And shout out to him, man. That's what I love about football, man. Football is just so full of stories and energy and momentum, and there is no other sport like football. This is why football is the greatest sport in the world, because of the stories. And they just continue to keep going on and on and on and on for years, for decades. I mean, football is literally reality TV. You don't get this in basketball. You don't get this in baseball. You don't get this in hockey. But for some reason, you get all these deep stories from all these different players, from where they came from, what they went through, the adversity, the emotional investment from the fans, the players. I mean, there's so much that goes into football. Football is literally like a game of life. It literally is. And there's so much that goes into it, man. And shout out to Devin Lloyd, man. I mean, the stuff that these players go through, you guys really don't know. I mean, when you're fighting for your job, and let alone getting cut, Devin Lloyd didn't get cut. But I'm just speaking from experience and just saying in general, it does a lot to a player. It does a lot to a football player, and and depending on who your coach is and what team you're on, you're never safe. You're never safe. I remember when Pete Carroll was coaching at Seattle Seahawks, and he was saying that he was telling the players, nobody is safe here. Nobody is safe. Your job can be taken tomorrow. So shout out to Devin Lloyd. Great play, great interception, and yeah, Jacksonville's for real, man. And so I think we probably should just start taking the Jaguars serious, which is crazy because I've never taken the Jacksonville Jaguars serious ever, but they are for real. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Chiefs, when, or if the Kansas City Chiefs are going to bounce back. A lot of teams that usually are great teams, or at least really, really good teams, are not playing. Well, I won't say a lot, but the only team I'm really thinking about, team that I'm really talking about is the Baltimore Ravens. It's obvious the Baltimore Ravens are not going to the playoffs. I don't see them going to the playoffs. And if the Chiefs don't get together, they're not going to the playoffs, because right now they're more than likely going to be trying to fight for a wild card spot, because the Chiefs are not only losing games, they're losing games to AFC opponents, and they're losing games to their AFC divisional opponents. And the Jaguars is not a divisional opponent, but they're losing games to a conference opponents, and that's not good for the Chiefs. The Chiefs really cannot afford to lose too many more games, or else they're not going to go to the playoffs. And that's going to be crazy. I think that would more than likely be the first time ever in Mahomes' career that they missed the playoffs. So I don't know what the Chiefs' schedule is. I don't know who they have. Let me see. Let me look up real quick. Let's see. Chiefs' next opponent. Let's see here who they got. Ooh. They really got the Lions? Let's see what the remaining schedule is. God, man, they can really lose that game. The Chiefs can be 2-4. They got the Lions. They got the Raiders. They should win that. They got the Commanders. That's gonna be a test. They got the Bills. Oh God, that's gonna be a test. God, they got a brutal schedule. Jesus. The Chiefs may not go to the playoffs. I only see like 2 games that they can win out of this. Like 2 or 3 games. The way they're playing right now. They got the Lions on Sunday Night Football. And they got the Raiders. They should win that. I mean, the only good thing I see about their next 3 games is they're all at home. So maybe they can beat the Lions. Maybe they can beat the Raiders. Maybe they can beat the Commanders because they're all at home. But I don't know, man. The Lions is going to be a serious test. The Lions is going to come out there marching, man. They don't play. And how I saw how they lost to the Jaguars, I mean, they were away, so maybe this can change, but I don't know, man. I really don't know. That's going to be... I'm going to have to do some research on that game, see about the situations and the matchups, really dig deep into that game. Damn. So yeah, they should beat the Raiders. That should be a W. That better be a dub. And then they got the Commanders. That should be a dub too. The Commanders beat the Chargers because literally the Chargers is just playing stupid football right now. The Chargers had that game won, and the Chargers just gave all the momentum and energy to the Commanders. I don't think the Commanders are as good as their record, and yeah, I see the Chiefs can beat the Commanders. Yeah, they should beat the Raiders. I think they're gonna lose to the Lions, but I'll look more deep into that game. But they should definitely beat the Raiders. They should beat the Commanders, the Bills, man, and that's a away game. And the Bills always beat them and I don't want to say always, but the Bills pretty much they have their number for the most part sometimes when they play in the regular season. So they got the Bills, then they got the Broncos away. That's an away game. It's after that, after the Commanders at home, it's scary for the Chiefs. It is very scary for the Chiefs. God. All right, I'm gonna call this out to y'all. So let's just say they lose to the Lions on Sunday Night Football. They're 2-4, and then let's say they beat the Raiders, 3-4. They beat the Commanders. They're 4-4. Now they're 500. They're 500 going to Buffalo. I don't see them beating Buffalo. I honestly just don't. That's an away game too, November the 2nd. I just do not see that happening. And so let's say they lose to Buffalo 4-5. Then they have a bye. And then after that, it gets scary. Because their next 3 games are away. And then because they got the Broncos. I don't see them winning that game. 4-6. Colts, that's an away game. I definitely don't see them winning that game. 4-7. Cowboys, they could lose that game. That's on Thanksgiving. They could lose that game. Because the Cowboys are playing pretty well. They could, but I'm going to give that game to the Chiefs. I'm going to give that game to the Chiefs. What, maybe 5-7? I kind of lost count. And then they got the Texans. So the only good thing about that game, it's a home game for the Chiefs. And then the Chargers are coming back there. I honestly don't know what's going on. I don't know what it's December the 14th. Hopefully the Chargers can have it together, but they could win that game. That game can go either way. I don't know. And then they got the Titans. They should be able to beat the Titans. And then they got the Broncos. That might be another loss. That's on Christmas Day. And then they got the Raiders. I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. I really don't know. The Chiefs could, if they don't get their act together, they have to at least. I would say they have to at least beat the Raiders and the Commanders going into their bye before they hit the Bills, because the Bills can be a for sure loss. They got to at least win their next 2 out of their 2 out of their next 3 games. They got to at least beat that. If they don't, I don't see them going to the playoffs. I just don't. So hopefully they can get together. And how many more AFC opponents they have? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They have 9 more AFC opponents. They can't afford to lose to me anymore. They just can't. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Yep. All right. So, I thank you all so much for watching, and that's all I got, man. That's all I got for tonight. That was my Monday Night Football reaction. Just getting a little bit talking about the Chiefs, you know, giving you my reaction and my thoughts on the Chiefs. But hey, like, comment, share, subscribe. I love you all. We'll be back very soon. All day. Peace.